Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryan. We're flying solo today with the Who and you and me and Charles, who gave us this request via our Patreon system. I would just recommend the easiest way to get us to do solo requests. Join the Patreon for free, and you'll get the what do you call it? The updates and scheduling and all the things you can do. When you click on the links, it'll tell you, hey, you can't do that because you're a pleb and you're not a part of that tier. And then you're like, but I want to be a part of that tier. And then you pull yourself out of that free tier, and then you can join the other stuff that we do. Okay. But there's stuff that happens free on Patreon. Like this reaction right now is actually live on Patreon for free for our patrons. So, but you have to be a patron to watch. So some of the reactions we do go for free. The solo ones in particular are usually free, if that makes sense. Okay. Lisa's kind of making a joke here. I accidentally read some trivia. I had some notes that I wanted to talk about because I like to come prepared for this song and not the one I just did. So if you're already mad at me in the other comments for the other song, it still means the same stuff. Okay. The Who, they're all about the warrior, the chant, right? The Who chant and all that stuff. I talked about stuff like that, and I went down my notes too fast when I was talking about the this is Mongol. Okay, so I apologize to some of my trivia might have been a little bit like, what's he talking about? But this is a newer track. I'm excited. This is like new news. If you're watching this with me, folks, we're into the new stuff. This is 2026. This is Warrior Chant. I think it might be a live performance, so we'll see if that is the case. And this again is from Charles, Who Warrior Chant. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Warrior Chant live from Charles. Okay, so it's cell phone footage. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's their current tour, so they probably don't have any pro shot stuff out just yet. But you just get an idea here of how cool their stage. I'll talk about it after, but I'll go back. But I acknowledge that it's a cell phone quality, but at least we'll get to see what I like. The one thing I like about cell phone coverage, if it's good, like someone just recorded their phone, is that you get to kind of just see. Hey, you're in the crowd minus the audio quality. You get to see exactly what like they're on stage and all that good stuff. So here we go. No post-production shenanigans can happen when it's on the cell phone. All right. So for audio quality, not that bad, really, considering, and we get a good feel of flavor of the song for sure. I mean, obviously, it's just not a pro shot, but the cell phone was held pretty steady, and it showed the stage and what you can expect on their current tour. And this, I spoke to this on last song. I do apologize, but it still stands that the Who chant they do, because they do it in a few of their songs. The Who, that's part of their brand. That's part of their identity, is the Who chant, and that it's just cool because that's their name, but they get to implement that into their songs, which is really kind of cool. So that is really unique about the band, that their name, the Who, and they get to chant it. So it's kind of like a bonus, like almost like singing in the third person. I'm trying to think of another band that could do that, where they're like, you could chant the name of your band during a song. This was great too, because you can see all the instruments being played, the design, and that's some of the questions I'm going to ask me in the interviews, like who makes these, how long does it take? Not to put a dollar amount on it, I don't mean it like that, but I mean, you just can't walk into a shop and buy one of these for like $10. I can only imagine that these are not factory, what do you call it, on the factory line made, that these are legit handcrafted by generations and generations of knowledge putting these things together. And for those who are new to the Who, who are watching this live on Patreon right now, the Who means human being. The band always wanted something inclusive, right? Not just Mongolian. So they embrace people like me, who I might not present as Mongolian. I don't think I am. I'm Canadian. And what I love about them is that they want all of us to be included in their music. Got the note here. I found it. So the throat singing that I talked about it's called Khoomei, Khoomei. Khoomei. And that's, you saw it really in this video. We talked about it before. This is a good example of it's just so cool how they do that. So yeah, this is how I love how they just basically they use their songs as not weapons, but empowerment. And I know when I'm listening to their music, I feel energetic. I guess they would have chants before wars or things like that. You get like a team chant, let's go. That's part of hyping up humans for battle, right? But that's what their music does. Is if you saw 100 of these guys just going down the field, who, they're like beat their chest and boom, boom, and then me and my Canadian mounted army, I don't know what we would do back. A. Okay, stupid joke. You know what? My jokes don't always land. I apologize. So I love the energy that they bring here. A couple of lyrics. So Charles did send me the English lyrics. Thank you so much, Charles, for this one, because there wasn't subtitles. So the lyrics are: vigorous gaze to suppress vanity, majestic semblance to ignite gallantry. Wow. Sharp, sensible, and determined in nature, regal, courteous, and dignified in manner. These are good qualities. Who? These are very good qualities. Fierce eyes to pierce through. Dauntless heart to fight any foe. My heart has a little bit of daunt. I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit of daunt. It's not quite dauntless. There's a little bit of daunt. Stolid mean. I'm not sure what that is. M-I-E-N. Forged as steel in wars. Okay. Unyielding valor against enemies. Well, that's the best kind of valor. Is the one that does not yield. Like mine might yield a little bit due to that lack of daunting I have. Here we go. Then they do the Who chant. Who. Once uttered words, unwavering, unanswering vigor to overcome all. Unfaltering power to defeat wholly. Unbending in the face of death. I got to tell you, Charles, when I die, I might bend a little bit. It goes on, lively, buoyant, and spirited in conduct. Loyal, honest, and straight in speech. Say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Fortitude to speak with manly dignity. Oof. I have a little bit of dignity, but my manliness isn't that great. I would not be a part of this band. I'm not manly enough, that's for sure. I don't really carry that way very well. Honor and reverence to nobility. And they go with the Who chant again. It continues. Keep the spirit and willpower blazing. I agree. Who chant continues. Sturdy and hardy in scarcity. Gentle, kind, yet tough as steel. Oh, I like that. I'm all about the gentle and kindness. I'm a big proponent of those things, but I like the idea that, but you're tough as steel. I got to work on that, Charles. I got to admit, my toughness kind of stinks sometimes, but well, it doesn't necessarily mean like actual physical toughness. It means probably tough in your goals, your mission, your personal integrity, all that good stuff. Solemn and stead in ups and downs, benevolent to those in sufferance, and that's how this message ends. Benevolent to those in suffering. So even if when you destroy your enemies, because they decided to have a fight with, they picked the fight with the Who. Don't do that. But if you do, you were to be benevolent to the sufferings, maybe of the people kind of caught in the crossfire, so to speak, right? Even to those who are enemies and are suffering, we show benevolence and kindness and mercy and love. Boy, these guys are great. This is the kind of message that I like. This is awesome stuff. Charles, thank you so much for this solo request. If you want to be like Charles and get myself or Nathan, again, join our Patreon for free. That's where we get all the announcements and the how-tos, and you can talk to us directly via chat. Sometimes we do talk to you directly. Sometimes you are graced by my typing. But what's even better is when you're live with us on Patreon, you get to talk to me directly. You can say whatever you want to me, to my face. But you can also text me directly or us directly. But we do have a wonderful support named Ellie who takes care of most of the messages. But every now and then, like I did to Charles today, I say, Charles, guess what? I'm going to be late. And Charles wrote back, okay. That's the kind of deep conversations Charles and I have. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to Charles for the wonderful Who journey and connecting us with the Who.
I come from planet Welp. I come from planet Welp.